Mo, everybody's watching the corn market with, I guess, great interest. We've talked several times in 2011 about the corn market. What's your insight right now to where we're headed into the summer?
Well, I think prices are going to remain elevated because of the wet spring flooding issues in the U.S. It looks like many private analysts are now lowering both yield and acres. The lowest acreage number for 2011 now is down to about 87.2, and that's from Lynn Group. At 87.2 million acres, that's a drop of literally almost 5 million from the 92.2 that we had at the March Planting Intentions Report from the USDA. So we didn't have enough at 92.2. We surely don't have enough at 87.2. And we got a lower yield at 158.8. With those numbers, it'll put ending stocks below 200 million. And you know what that does to price. Now, are we going to see 87.2 million acres tomorrow because we got a June production report out of the USDA? I don't think so, but the market is expecting some sort of... You go back to history, it's not common for the USDA to lower acres in the June period. I think maybe they've done it 3 times in the last 20 years. And it's been minimal at best. I think they'll probably wait for the June acreage report and get more information before they adjust acres. Now, I don't think they'll even throw the number that low either on June 30th, only because I think they'll need more information before they actually go to that number. So I think over the next few weeks, you'll see some of the highest acres numbers for 2011. As you go forward, I think those numbers become smaller and smaller, and that's only going to support the price of corn. Obviously, weather now is really going to dictate. Obviously, the USDA can dictate price, and the big hedge funds, but weather's really going to be the big driver. Is it going to be a perfect growing season, or is it going to be a dry spell? And we've been getting some heat stress days here, but that's not enough. Really, what counts is the crop has to pollinate through July, and then yields are made through August. So you get some very hot, dry weather through July and August, and we could pose some problems because we stick with the 87.2 million, no change in demand structure, and we drop the yield to about 55 or lower. Now you're talking problems. And
so those, if we were to push those prices higher because of these lower ending stocks and yield some possible yield challenges. What do you see as the possible top end trading ranges through the rest of the year? Then, like, are we talking that $9 like people have been saying?
Well, old crop seems to be peaked around the 750 or 8. I think if you're going to see 9 or plus on old crop, you might see it through September when you really have a very tight crop. You don't have any old crop, you don't have any new crop because the U.S. crop was planted late. And I think maybe futures may go crazy when you don't have any limit on the front month of September contract. The new crop contract may end up going to 8. I don't know about 9. It depends on these numbers and how low that ending stocks number goes. But, if we have lost that many acres and maybe yield has to move lower, and they're expecting that tomorrow as well, then we're going to have to ration more demand. That means corn's going to have to go above 7 again. Probably 750. Our target's 750. But you may even approach 8. 9, still a question mark at this point. So I'm projecting that at best this year, because of the late planted crop, and as of yesterday, according to the crop progress report, you still got about 5.8 million acres in Ohio that have to be sowed, and you've got about 1 to 1.1 in Indiana and I think the Dakotas. So, your average yield this year maybe at best approach 165, but if I throw in a 170 yield at 87.2 million acres with no change in demand, that barely gets you back to $1 billion. So through the fall months, I expect corn to stay, the low end maybe 550, the high end 8 plus.
Well, so the reality here is tight ending stocks means prices are, like you said, are going to maintain their their higher trend. I guess for farmers that have got or have corn planted, in terms of pricing, should they be holding off on any sort of pricing and just waiting to see what the summer market means?
Well, June usually is a very good seasonal month to sell into. I hope the farmers have gotten it in and it's coming out of the ground and it's looking good. If they've taken that risk off the table, then if you haven't priced anything in front of this June WASDE report, I would be definitely selling some here. I mean, you're approaching 675 on futures. Plus, in Ontario and even in the States, and to somewhat Western Canada, basis has improved, particularly here in Ontario. It's gone from a minus 115 record basis on corn to a minus 40. They're worried that we were going to plant pretty well a record crop this year, and it looks like because of the wet weather, a lot of producers are switching to beans. So you got a good price on futures. You got a good basis. You're probably netting about a 630, 635 with a 180 plus yield. If you can achieve that this year, you're going to be locking in, depending on your cost of production, you're going to be locking in net profits of $700-800 plus, in some cases $1,000 again.
Okay, Mo, thanks a lot for joining us today, and we'll talk to you again soon.
No problem. Take care.